everybody, I'm Carla with Race to Walk, and it is time for another update in Hacked the Saga. So I know this is just a little bit of a, I should have had my intro video and it got shut off. But you know what? That's okay. We will just go on without my cool little intro video. So what is this? This is an update that I've been doing since August of 2024. This is a series I've been doing on my Race to Walk YouTube channel ever since then. I have even lost track of how many updates this is. I think this is update number 73 or something. And if you go to my website at racetowalk.org, and you can see, oh wait, that's my wrong one. Hold on. Yeah, you can go to all of the updates that I have. I haven't had the last several to update, and I'll explain why about that. But this one's going to be a little different. I'm not going to have, usually I have slides. I only have one this time, one slide to show you something. But anyway, I'm just going to go over a few things. We're going to be talking a little bit about things that have been happening to me, specifically not just on YouTube, but also on other platforms. But I'm going to focus specifically on YouTube and one of the things that I discovered, which affects all YouTube creators, and especially, I think, Christian content YouTube creators. So anyway, we're going to cover that on stolen words and watch time. And then we're going to go a little bit over about what you do when family isn't friendly. And then I'm going to be talking about one of my other efforts that coordinates with this, Bright Sheep Ministries. If you look at the end screen on all of my videos, it has that it's a part of Bright Sheep Ministries. And we're going to talk a little bit about what that is. And then we're also going to wrap it all up with a little segment that I'm going to be calling When Liars Lie. So if you haven't watched anything else of this, the reason I started doing these streams was because beginning in December of 2023, I was calling out some sock puppet accounts that were presenting themselves as Christian authorities, like pastors, all kinds of, authoritative people in the Christian sphere that were promoting a lot of heresies, like every single distinctive of the Christian faith. I'm talking the atonement, the nature of sin, the reality of the fall, the necessity of hell, the need for the atonement itself. All of these distinctives about Christianity. They would just, supposedly they're these big wigs, and then they would come out on social media saying, I don't believe in the Trinity, or I don't believe that there's a hell, or, we really don't need to, we don't really have sin, and, basically that the cross is, they didn't put it this way, but the cross is worthless. That's basically what they were saying. And so I started calling them out, and then I started getting hacked. Seriously hacked. Like, I could tell that I was, they're trying to locate me. They would make comments behind these fake accounts, and it basically would comments, so I would know that they knew where I was. Stalking, harassing, but it was like these posts that would be pushed into my feed that I couldn't take it to authorities and say, this is a attack against me. It's a threat against me. I couldn't say that until April of 2024, when I had definite proof of a hack. Was blown off, was told by the FBI if I felt threatened to go to the police, told me to go to Geek Squad. Didn't get a report for either of them. The following month, we found I had been involved in an unexpected journal. You can go to my website and learn more about that, but I was part of launching it, and I'm just going to state this because this is the absolute truth. I did put out 22 of the 24 issues when I was involved between 2018 and 2024 when I stepped down. And I stepped down because I began to realize that it was people that I knew from an expected journal and the apologetics program that I graduated from, Houston, it's now known as Houston Christian University, were part of it. So anyway, so all of this is going on, and Hold on, this is really weird. Okay, so I haven't done this before on this particular laptop, and okay, I'm just gonna reset my camera for a minute. Hold on. Okay, I guess I'm not. So my other, shoot. Oh my gosh, I hope I'm still streaming. Anyway, when liars lie, this is a story. So I'm just gonna refresh this. Oh, hold on, I don't even know what's going on with this. Hopefully this is still going on. Let me see if I can do it this way. Hold on. I'm just gonna do it this way. Okay, I'm just gonna have to do it on my iPad. So anyway, let me close this out because they're probably gonna mess with me if I do it that way. Hold on. Leave. Yeah, this is always an adventure. So actually today when I was uploading, this is the thing. I'm not even gonna get to this now, but it's been an adventure for the past literally couple weeks. I mean, more than usual. If you've been following this long, it's more than usual. So anyway, I had discovered that, long story, you can go watch some of the videos if you want to watch it. But anyway, long story short, it was people that I knew from an Unexpected Journal and the Houston Christian University that were behind the attacks, the stalking, all of that. And what's crazy about it is this was true, but it was also true that they had lied about my involvement with, I don't even know what they have involved. They just run a ton of fake accounts on social media. They have clients for different things, a lot of Christian influencers, but also they had some government contracts. And they were promoting government agency accounts like the FBI accounts. So that's where your taxpayer dollars are going to pay these agencies, also known as a bunch of creepy stalker criminals, to do a bunch of fake engagement on their accounts, and they also stalk you and surveil you and collect information on you. Yeah. So anyway, going on from there, that's how it started. And I have forgotten how many agencies I've been reporting massive amounts of reporting all over the place. So that's what Hack the Saga is. And I've just been updating this, and part of what the issue was, so the very first time I made a massive report to the FBI and IC3 on July 27th or 28th in 2024. It's 200 pages. And I could tell what a lot of these sock puppets were doing, which they knew too, because they're contractors, you know. I'm sure nothing I said was coming as a surprise. But when I didn't get a response, and no acknowledgement, I don't even think there was a report number on that, but when I didn't get a response, I did a live stream. And if you go to my website at racewalk.org, Hack the Saga, you can see that first one. It's called A Message to My Stalker. So I had seen what the sock puppets were doing, and at this point when I streamed, I didn't even know all the people that were involved at this point. It took me a while to figure that out. But I had after I made that first report to the FBI, I discovered that not only was the journal stolen, but it was, they had stolen all my work. I mean, it said plagiarized. Well, so anyway, on that first live stream, I include a video of evidence that YouTube's analytics were faked. And so then the next day, so I do a live stream, it's 3 hours. I posted about the faked analytics in Sean Cannell's video ranking Facebook group. Within 2 hours, my Facebook account was locked for a community violation, I don't know what, and then it was locked for 3 days. So in the meantime, during that 3 days, the next day I reformat my phone, and I don't think it had, basically it was, I think, a corrupted Google Play Store, but all of my accounts were taken over. When I got back into the my Facebook account, they had moved my actual account. So my original account was CM Alvarez on Facebook. They moved it over to an account that was a sock puppet account. So this is the one I have access to now, Carla Alvarez, and moved all my data. And they don't even need a hack for this. This is a built-in meta feature because it meta caters to people running these sock puppet accounts. And this particular account, I went through, I have screenshots of all of this. I can tell you, I know where the different people that were working for this, you have this agency that has this massive sock puppet accounts. I can tell you where they lived. I can tell you the day when they were onboarding new employees who were located in Baytown, because I have their IP addresses from the Facebook login. But this account had been impersonating me since 2013. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, it seemed to me to be retaliation for talking about the faked analytics on YouTube. Whether it was or not, I don't know, maybe, but this is the connection. So I had seen that the analytics were fake. And this is mainly going to be for other YouTube creators. If you just watch YouTube and you're not familiar with the ins and outs of publishing on YouTube, honestly, it's pretty easy. It's not that hard. If you want to do something and you've been feeling like you should, go ahead and do it. I mean, just pick up your camera and start talking into it. But anyway, I have over 500 videos on my Raised to Walk YouTube channel. And not only have I never been monetized, and this is the thing about people, creators earning money. It used to be that you just got paid for watch time regardless. And once you got up to, you had to have your YouTube channel connected to an AdSense account, a Google AdSense account, to be able to collect that revenue, which I had since 2004 because I've published, a lot of websites that I run AdSense on. But once you get up to, and you don't get a payout till it's $100. That's the way it used to be. But then in 2019, they changed it so that you can't earn money. They can, the argument was that they had to qualify accounts to make sure that they weren't sketchy so that they could run ads on it or something. This is the thing. If they have determined that your channel is reliable and is worth running ads on, you should be getting some of the revenue or not. Obviously, that qualification's already been made, right? But that's not the way it works. So you have to have 4,000 hours of watch time in the past 12 months and 1,000 subscribers to be able to earn revenue on that. So anyway, according to my stats, I've never gotten to that. But I have seen, this is the thing, it doesn't matter whether I publish or not. My watch time stays at 2,500 hours in the past 12 months. The historical views will change. So this is the thing. Those should never change, right? I've had views removed from my videos. I mean, I have videos like my reading through the Psalms videos. Those I published in, I think it was 2016, and some of them were wiped down to 0, which is completely ridiculous. So I knew that was being altered. I didn't know how it was happening. I had some of those early channels. If you look at the updates, follow me on Twitter. Yeah, I have posted, now this gets blocked sometimes. So, but I post that's my, if I'm posting personally, that's where I post. I probably shouldn't, because this is my, Raised to Walk is like my site branch out, but that's the one I just kind of let it all hang out on and just post all these kinds of things. So yeah, you can follow me on that. But anyway, where was I going with this? Okay. I was talking about, Oh, the channels. Oh, yeah. So my videos had been wiped. So there were quite a few videos of, I did a lot of live streams. I did a ton of conferences for, well, sort of like conferences. We called them launch parties for the release of the journal. I did author interviews, and I would make a custom preview video for them. And when I had discussions with people, I'd make a preview video for that. So it's kind of like a trailer. And so anyway, some of the earliest ones, including, I think is one of my best ones, the one I did for Holly Ordway, those were made private, and the description wiped, and all the engagement wiped too, right? So you couldn't find it. So that was going on. It's like, and I would I used to tag Team YouTube on it because that's where you're supposed to get help. I don't anymore. They never respond to me anyway. But they would say, well, does anyone have access to your channel? And I said, no, I don't, nobody has access to this. So anyway, this was going on, and I have tried to get, so I've contacted anything that I have access to, but this is the other thing about, if you're not monetized, YouTube basically doesn't give squat about you as a creator. You can't get an actual response from a human being. I mean, even money related, well, this is money related, but other things like AdSense and AdWords, it's like Alphabet's decided that customer support is too much of an expense, and so they cut the customer support to save costs, and then all you get stuck with is a AI customer service that you get stuck in a loop and you never get any answer or response. So anyway, but what I recently discovered, and this is what you should take note of. Okay, so if you publish on YouTube, and especially if you're a Christian content creator on YouTube, and you feel like some of the things I've been saying sound very familiar, and like it's been stalled, and that you're just not really sure what's going on. So over the past month or so, my YouTube channels were on my main email address that I've had since Google was a thing. So whenever that was, 2003, 2004, whatever, it was on that. This is one of the Gmails that they've had like some sort of superior access to that I cannot get them out. This was the Gmail that they had hacked a Google family group onto it that I discovered in July of last year. And this is how I know that these people are involved. Phil Talon, who's the dean of the School of Christian Thought at Houston Christian University, his university email was on there. There were two other emails that were my personal emails, but they had hacked the DNS and were like acting as me through these accounts. But I knew who it was because they had, on my Google Drive, they had shared files with me. You have to accept them. I never accepted these files. And those were, I know that it was Jason Smith and Annie Nardoni from An Unexpected Journal. I know that for sure. So anyway, I reported that to the police in October, but long story short, that's another part of it. But they had control over these accounts, right? And so they knew they could access my photos, they could, access my emails, they could, access my location, see where I've been. There's just a bunch of, but also all my accounts that were attached to that, like Google AdSense, Google AdWords, Google Search Console, the Tag Manager, Google Cloud, all of these things. So the first thing I did is I moved my channels off of that email address, the original email address, to brand spanking new Gmails, right? As soon as I did that, it was like, there was just like this horde of fleas, like constantly trying to get access to those new Gmail accounts. They were following the YouTube channels. That's what it was. And so anyway, fighting them off that one, trying to keep them out. But they had, anyway, so there was that. But before I moved them, I don't know if you've ever done this, but you can, on your Google account, you can do a Google takeout and download all the activity on there. Okay. So when I was looking through the brands, so like right now you can have a YouTube channel connected to your main profile, right? And oh shoot. Oh my gosh, you guys, I don't know where I'm streaming to actually. Okay. Yeah, because I switched things around. And this is the first time I've streamed since I switched them. So I don't know where this will be an adventure. Okay. So if this shows up in a weird place, that's why. Okay. So anyway, I switched those over. But as I was doing that, YouTube, you can have different channels on one account, right? And they call them, some of them, you can have one for your main account, but you can have multiple brand accounts, right? So I was looking at all the brands that were attached to that Gmail account that I'd had forever. And there were some old ones, like, because you used to create brands for Google Plus pages, remember that? So there were a bunch of these old things. And as I was cleaning them up, like I was, for some reason, an admin on a client brand that I haven't worked with for like over a decade. I just started cleaning it all up. And this is what I would advise to anybody that manages other people's stuff, or you help them out or something. Never attach that to your own email address. That is one thing that I've learned. This is what I did in the past. I will never do that again. But anyway, as I was cleaning out those brand accounts and all these different connections there, I would go back and I would look at my YouTube channel, because the YouTube channel, the interface is jacked. But as I was breaking those links, it, like, the view changed. So it's like, I don't know I think it's what they call a persistent session, but what it is that, so people, if they're attacking you like through the internet, and they're attacking or targeting your browser session, right? They can alter what it is that you see, but that is local to your browser and that device. What is happening on YouTube and a lot of my other accounts, it doesn't have anything to do with my device. It has to do with the platform, or this is on my PayPal account. It's on my my Amazon account, Amazon KDP, who knows all what, but also on YouTube. So it's this persistent session in the platform itself. So it doesn't matter what I log into it on, it's still there. So it's this fake view, right? You're seeing something and you think that you're on the actual dashboard and that you have access to everything in your account, but you don't actually. You have a faked view. This is what you see, and you're blocked from seeing what's actually going on behind the curtain, right? So they have actually control over your account, and you just have what they choose to let you have access to. So they have so altered the interface on my Race to Walk channel and my legacy marketing, my original channel for legacy marketing on there, that I don't even have access to subtitles. I have some stupid languages interface, and they control, even if I correct the transcript, because they mangle that too, it doesn't actually, it's like they control who sees it. So on one of my last videos that I did, I corrected the transcript. I watched the video and it was showing the correct transcript to me. But when I pulled it, because they had blocked me from getting the captions off that video, and they also blocked me from uploading it to a second channel that they didn't have control over. So it's like they did a content ID flag on the video, so I couldn't actually use it somewhere else. But anyway, when I pulled the transcript off of it, it still had the corrupted captions. And you may say, why? What does that matter? So people who do YouTube will understand the importance of this. When the algorithm is crawling the transcripts, it sees what the words are, right, in that transcript. And so if they mangle your transcripts so that it erases all the relevant words, you're never going to be found in relevant pools of videos of people that actually want to see it. So it's an underhanded sabotage of your reach. Okay, so I've said this before. There were two, when my YouTube channel started taking off before it got blocked, installed, and I guess taken over, was when I started editing my captions. And the second thing was when I started making playlists. So to help the algorithm out, figuring out what it was that, what was going on. So when they do that, they're blocking the reach, okay? So anyway, so that was going on. So it's like, how do they have this control? I could tell that it seemed to me like, so what I recently learned about was that there's this thing called multi-channel networks on YouTube. And so they're like this big agency or whatever, and they have these affiliated channels. I don't know. I mean, I've just Gemini told me about this because I really hadn't even read anything about it. But they have these channels where they're supposed to be helping with, I don't know what the point is, but anyway, supposedly they're helping with promotion or whatever. I don't know. To me, it just seems to me like to be set up for fraud, quite frankly. Because they have those agencies, those owners of the network, have more access and control over your videos than you do as an individual creator. So it looks to me like whoever has hijacked my channel into their agency, or whatever they call themselves, they've put they can do a standardization for different phrases, right? So that when the captions are generated, that it always comes up as a certain word, right? So they can control the, to make sure that it's supposedly spelled correctly or presented correctly. Well, what they've done with mine is that they've set it so that, and this is system-wide, this isn't just on my channel. They've changed it so that when I say my site or my brand name, Raised to Walk, which should be RAISED, to walk, they've set it so that it always comes out Race to Walk, RACE. So they're completely, it's just ongoing sabotage, right? Okay. So anyway, so that is the thing. And some people join these networks. I don't know what, the point is. I don't know, but I never willingly joined one on any of my accounts. I mean, the only one I would have thought about would have been this one. I would have never put legacy marketing in there, and I would never have given somebody control over an account that I operate my business out of. I would never have willingly given any sort of authorization for that. So anyway, it's what it seems like to me. And the reason I'm saying this is because you think, well, I'm not in a network. Well, I didn't think I was either. And they're supposed to be on your dashboard. They're supposed to be the name of a network if you are, right? Nothing shows for me on either of them. But what I think is, just based on the response of the channel, because I could tell that there was a change. I mean, it didn't break it totally, but I could tell that there was a change in the interface, like looking at my brand channel, like all the information and the graphics and everything. When I was breaking some of them, it actually broke, it was blank. It was like it broke whatever alignment there was. So it seems to me like it's an API based interface that they hack channels with. And so what they can do is that they can take, this is the other thing, the watch time that I have, they can take your watch time and put it over to these other channels. They can take your subscribers and move them on to another channel. So, and I know that this has been happening because when I was moving I moved my account over to, my channel over to a different email. Didn't fix the problem. The attachment is to the channel, it's not to the email. So even with the brand spanking new email address, it didn't fix that problem. But I was starting to sync everything to a new Google Analytics account. And I have videos about that whole thing, about altered views on that. But when I was looking at some of the reports, tying that to some of the other data services that Google has, and when I was looking at the reports for my channel, it showed that I had a net increase of 500 subscribers in the past 30 days, where I'm showing 5. I mean, I've been at like 1,700. It's like they decide, okay, you're not going any farther than 1,700 subscribers, and then they just take everything else off on top of that. And it used to be the limit for watch time, it was 2,500. It looks to me like they're like, no, you're not even going to get that. We're going to put you down to 1,700 watch time hours, and we're going to take everything on top of that. So they steal it. So here's the thing. Views are the currency of YouTube. So when somebody is stealing your watch time, they are literally taking money out of your pocket. This is theft, this is larceny, and this is fraud. So I don't have an answer for you. I am still stuck on my YouTube channels. The original ones are still stuck in that. I don't have an answer or fix for you. All I can say is that I'm documenting everything. I have screenshots of when this was after I was breaking everything, and I happened to go to a different, more interior view on the Google Analytics on my old channel, and it was showing that I had 1,000 more subscribers than what I could see on the front end. So anyway, I don't have an answer for you on what to do about that. I'm just saying, I didn't even know that was a thing. So I am just saying that if you publish on YouTube, watch your analytics. I am really not even sure how they hijacked mine, so I don't know what really to guard against. But like I said, I've moved it to a new email address. They've literally been like just totally coming after those new emails that I moved them onto. I mean, it's constant. I have to, I'm not joking, I have to check my logins morning, noon, and night to make sure that there's not extra sessions on there. So anyway, I don't know what exactly they have to do to be able to basically steal your work and your channel, and basically it's like they're chaining you to them and you don't even know that it's there. I don't know what to tell you about it, but I personally think that this is the thing. All these platforms, they really bank on that Section 230, which says that internet platforms aren't responsible for the actions of the users. But here's the thing. If they knowingly facilitate and enable these, if they know what's going on, they don't do anything about it, personally, I think that they're liable, especially when they're building systems that enable the fraud. So I don't know. I personally think that there needs to be a class action lawsuit and some state attorney generals that come after them. But this is just, be aware, this is a thing. Let me do this part before I move on to the next one. So again, I've had these accounts for 20 years, and specifically my AdSense account was, I started in 2024. And so anyway, I was going through, I'm moving everything, I've set everything up on the new emails and everything, and then I'm going back through my old emails and breaking every single link, every single connection deleting all accounts when I can. And I get to AdSense, and keep in mind, I've already moved all my sites and platforms onto another Google Analytics account, right? So there shouldn't be anything verified there. Well, lo and behold, Race to Walk is verified on this AdSense account. And when I go and I look at the properties that are connected to AdSense, there were a list of them that I've joined over the years, but YouTube was showing as enabled, but it didn't show any of the, there should be information about it. I couldn't see anything. Also, I could tell that the reporting on the AdSense account that I could see was fake. It was showing the earliest history is 2012. I started that account back in 2024. So I thought, forget this. So I deleted the channel. This is on a Sunday. And I can tell when here's the thing. I know the group that's involved in this. And so I feel pretty confident in saying that I'm pretty sure that Abby Brockman was the person that was in charge of overseeing that, because at 9:45 on Monday morning, all hell broke loose. And it has been nonstop hacks, just random, everywhere I go. I mean, they literally stalk me and send somebody in to hack me wherever I am to try to get access to the accounts. So, whatever. I do not care. I will, these are a bunch of losers that could not create something that interests anybody if their life depended on it, so they have to steal the work of other people. I have been publishing and developing for 20 years. If I have to burn every single account that I have to the ground to get these jackasses out of it, that is what I will do. I deleted the AdSense account a couple weeks ago on a Sunday. Last week, I deleted my AdWords account, or not my AdWords. I deleted my original Legacy Marketing Square account, because that was another one that I could tell that they had been in. Yeah, go watch the Saints and Sanctuary stream from November 1st on the Hacked the Saga, where I talk about the Hugo Lamy connection. But I logged in once and I saw a different number on a credit card number for exporting or transferring money out. And this is the thing. It's like companies, again, they've gotten so into, all this AI support that you never actually get any support, right? And if you have to get a phone number through an interface, right, that's jacked, you're not going to get anywhere because they're just going to block it. So anyway, so that's what's been up with me. I've just been fighting off hackers nonstop. And the last thing is they stole, I had a password written down in a binder. That this is the thing, I have to keep things with me constantly, because if I don't physically have it with me, they're going to send somebody in wherever I am, wherever it is, to try to get access to it. So anyway, have I gotten as much done as I want to this week? No. Have I gotten that digital toolkit out? No, because they've been hacking it and deleting things that I've already written. So anyway, but we're going to move on from there, because that's enough on that. But I'm just saying, for YouTube creators, make sure that you watch your stats, and if things seem off, they probably are, and hopefully you can find somebody that will listen, because it just seems to me like I'm in Oregon. Somebody stole a house and they didn't care about it, and the attorney general said, "Oh yeah, we don't do that here. We don't handle that." So anyway, maybe it'll be in a state that will actually do something. But anyway, next part we're going to go on to is when family isn't friendly. And I was going to go into more about this, but I'm not going to, because I'm tired of spending time on this. But if you go back and look at my live stream in October 2024, just go and watch that and look at the way I looked. The reason I looked that way is because I was being poisoned by my family. And I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but I had gone to the 2 different ER departments with 5 times within 4 days. And one of them, my blood pressure was 180/89. They just said it was white coat syndrome and sent me out. But when I went to the Salem hospital, the night before, because I had been with my parents, my mom and I think my brother had gone through my stuff, taken some documents out of a binder, had gone through like all my cards and everything, and I actually filed a police report about it with the Woodburn Police. And he said, we can't really do anything because we don't know that they have it. But anyway, so after that, I went down to the Salem police, or the Salem hospital. And when I was turned on my phone again, I saw, first of all, it was like they had, because I had all my passwords and backup codes and everything in a notebook. And it was like, while I was at the ER, they had been trying to hack my accounts. And then when they realized that they couldn't get into it because I had 2-factor authentication, then they started sending all these text messages. Oh, where are you? Where are you? So the next day I sent them a text message, a group message, and I told them, that I knew, what was going on. They needed to stop. I was trying to be straightforward and direct with them. You can't do that with, dishonest and sneaky people. And so, and I wouldn't have, if you go watch my other videos, I did not know that about them. But anyway, I had a very different opinion before I came back and these things began. So anyway, my sister-in-law said something that proved that they were the ones that were stalking my phone because she knew where I was. And my brother said something that, wasn't something that I could report to authorities, but he said something that I knew. He had been hacking my WhatsApp group that I was talking to the Afghans with. So that's where it ended. And I have not, that was October 7th, 2024. I have not spoken to them since. I have not been back to that house since then. And the last live stream I did, I talked about when I went to my aunt's funeral where they were there and they didn't even acknowledge that they even recognized me or knew me. So I didn't speak to them then either. A week after that, someone it was either my dad or mom or somebody using that account made a threat on my live stream from May 2025 called Unfakeable, where I give the details of my life. And so my response was, go for it. I'll pin this comment for you and you can say whatever you want to say. But anyway, they deleted it. So I would literally rather live under a bridge than ever go back to that house or have anything to do with them. But it seems to me like this is another situation where they're trying to fake that I'm with them. So I'm not, and I will not be ever. And the reason I don't say that is because every once in a while I just do a search on my name, different variations of my name, because that's one of the sabotages against me has been to eliminate me from search, all of this. And so I've been trying I used to have a knowledge panel that came up, for my writing. That was sabotage. So I've been doing structured schema on my websites so that it's tied in. So like these things belong to me, right? So they're interrelated. And as soon as I started doing that, first of all, if you do schema, which I'm offering a service on Legacy Marketing Services, because that's my business, I'm going to start offering a service to set that up and validate it for people, because I know that I'm not the only one, right, that this has happened to. But it was an instant response, and there was a whole big long stream of basically faked like Wikipedia profiles of these random, Mexican soccer players, which why would it be in an English version, right? Yeah. So anyway, there was that. There was also a faked, I think it was Spokio. Was it Spokio? I think it was, I have a screenshot of this, a faked profile for me. This didn't used to be on there, but what it said is my address was in Woodburn. Okay, I have never had my address in a public database that was on Woodburn. If it's being shown as a Woodburn address, the Department of Health and Human Services for insurance, they have it. If that's being leaked and going into these public profiles, that's a whole nother problem. But I never changed my driver's license while I was living in Woodburn, and I never changed my voter registration either. So there is no public record that should be showing up for me in Woodburn. But it seems like this is an effort to fake, like, oh, that's where I am. I'm not. I've had mail stolen. I have a P.O. box. It's P.O. Box 13 in Salem, 97308. I've had mail stolen out of it. I was supposed to be getting a registered letter from the IRS. Never showed up. So anyway, that's that. That's why I am not with family. Will never be with those particular family members again, because they are, personally, I think that, I know I have evidence that they have been in collusion with the friends that were stealing everything else, and I think they're the people on the ground that are paying people to come after me, basically. They pay people to basically tell them where I am, to come after and stalk me, whatever. And let me just say to all these little criminals in Salem or Oregon City or wherever they're finding them, I literally am documenting every single stolen session that comes up into my accounts. I also take pictures of the people where I'm at, where I can tell they're starting to interfere in my devices. So the odds are very strong that if you come close to me and you are stealing one of my sessions and hacking me, I probably have a picture of you, and I have a screenshot of that stolen session when it's used. So I'll know who actually did it, like an Asian guy that was sitting next to me in the Salem library yesterday, stole a session on one of my Google accounts off my iPad. I have a picture of you, and I have a screenshot of when the first access was. So whatever they're paying you, please make sure. I don't care. I mean, trash gets whatever is coming to them, but make sure that whatever they're paying you is worth it. So anyway, going on to Bright Sheep Ministries. So I have a site, brightsheep.org, and this was a vision God gave me, and I'll talk about it some other time, but that's why I registered the domain name. And when I started teaching, so the whole name would be Bright Sheep Ministries International, right? That's the name God gave me. And I have planned on filing a nonprofit for that, because I had been in Texas, and there aren't a lot of requirements to file a nonprofit in Texas, but I didn't want, I've been part of parachurch ministries that is basically just husband and wife, and then all the other board members are related or under heavy influence of them, and it's very egocentric. And I didn't want it to be that. I wanted to have people who were, invested in it, who brought different strengths than I did, and I didn't want it to just be me. And so I was asking different people if they would be willing to be on the board. I asked Randy Hatchett, who I took systematic theology from at Houston Baptist. I did an interview with him and Ben Blackwell back in 2022, January 2022. And he said, he just really couldn't do it at the time. I asked my friend Annie Culver from Second Baptist. She has a background in accounting, and I said, hey, would you be interested in being on the board for this and being part of it? And she said, she has young girls, and she said no. And I also, I I also asked Jason Smith, who turned out to be one of the primary attackers and hackers, if he would. He's like, well, maybe we'll talk about it later. And so I never created the nonprofit. And I did register at one point when I was hoping to get something together sooner. I did reserve the name with the state of Texas, and I let it go because I didn't have the other board members and I was busy with other things. But I do have the website. And I was basically doing the work because I was doing Bible studies with the Afghans, with the Pakistanis. I was with Mark Ritchie, who were working with, the churches and ministries there. So I was doing the work. I just didn't have a structure behind it then. But those are the types of things that when I did actually form the actual ministry that I could see that it was doing. And the reason I say this is because it seems to me like, they've been impersonating me. They've been impersonating my businesses. They've, stolen my work, everything. And I think they also stole, I don't know what they've been doing, but they stole that Bright Sheep YouTube channel off my account entirely. And they also have been sabotaging the video I did in February of 2024, where I say I've been doing the work of a humanitarian organization, which is true. I was looking at different refugee organizations. They normally bring in between 15 to 20 refugees in a year. I had 70 people in my group that I was trying to help with no funding, okay? They've sabotaged that. I was working on putting this transcript together for that video so I could post it online because it seemed obvious that they were trying to sabotage that. And that's been deleted. So it's still been being hacked. So this just based on the skeeziness of everything else that they've done. What I think is that my attackers, people sabotaging me, people blocking my communications when I'm trying to help the Afghans, I think they went and got funding for my work under Bright Sheep Ministries. I actually have, when I sent in a privacy request to every organization I could think of back in the summer of 2024, and the report from the one that came back from the NSA said, basically it sounded like they wouldn't, it sounded to me like somebody associated with me was under investigation, because that's what I asked for. People talking about me, whatever. And it also said, in your situation, if we gave it to you, it would, some terrorism connection or something. I don't know. I don't know if it meant that because I was working with Afghan Christians teaching Bible studies and the U.S. was now considered the Taliban their ally, that meant the Christians were considered the terrorists. I don't know. I don't know what that meant. But I do think that there's more of a connection there. And so let me just say this. I have not received a donation on racetowalk.org, which would just have been to me personally since 2021. If you send anything through like Cash App, Venmo, the things I have, I haven't received it. I haven't. If you sent money to the Afghans, the only people, unknown donation that I received when it was going to Don Shire's ministry was a $500 donation. That's it. And I haven't, if there was anything else that came, then it went somewhere else and it was diverted. And so, number one, these people have never had any connection to any of my work other than when I volunteered for an unexpected journal. They've never had any connection to my publishing business, the Fusion Media Group. They've never had any public connection to my marketing business, Legacy Marketing Services. They've never had any connection with Race to Walk, my ministry site, other than I interviewed them and promoted them in the videos on it. That was the only connection. And they have certainly never had any connection with anything that I've done with Bright Sheep Ministries, which was at this point just a site. And this is the type of thing I would want to be doing with this ministry, providing Bible studies and educational information in different languages. That's the only thing. They don't have any interest in it. at all. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. But anyway, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, oh, what you're sounding like, it sounds like just what one of my best friends is going through, has been going through for years. Is that best friend Annie Nardoni? Is that who it is? Because maybe it sounds familiar, because that's what she's been doing to me. Just in this live stream this morning, they were hacking my laptop so I couldn't get the hacked assets for the video. They're still doing it. They're still doing it. And part of this whole thing is that these jackasses had government contracts and connections with the FBI. So they're lying about me, framing me, and they refuse to believe that these people were the ones behind it. Like, no. It's just somebody's using their stuff, impersonating them. No, it's not. It is them. It is Annie Nardoni, Phil Talent, Jason Smith. I have had enough stupid crap that they've done, that some criminal just going for the access, they would have never have done this. That Annie Nardoni is, when they hack my website or my laptop, she is one of the number one people that they've tried to cover up. When they alter my transcripts on YouTube, her name is the one that's covered up. Do you want to know, this is how they're just weirdos and goobers. This is what they do. Do you know what the last little threat was? This is how academics try to be scary. I have a live stream on my channel, the Race to Watch channel, where I did an interview. We were talking about the Barbie movie with Annie Crawford, who is part of this whole thing, and then Joseph Holmes, which I don't know. Anyway, they pushed an essay in my Google Drive. This is in August, after I'd broken all these connections. So I don't know how they were doing it. But anyway, they pushed this essay in the Google Drive on, I can't remember the movie because I haven't seen it, but it was on, what was it? It was, I can't remember the movie, but anyway, it was about this movie, and they were using, it was basically like, you need to stay in your place, basically. And they were comparing Barbie to Lucifer, because she went and was trying to be her own person rather than staying where she was put. And then they were misquoting Charles Taylor from A Secular Age and misrepresenting what he said. You telling me some random criminal just does that just because they bought access? No, it's these fake Christians that's how they threaten. Okay, that's how they threaten. Nobody else is going to do that. No one else is going to be that weird, okay, and that lame. So it is them. And yeah, I know it's hard to believe that people that you thought you were friends with are criminals and fakes and been lying to you all the time. I understand that, okay? I've lived it, but that is the reality. So anyway, that's that. Oh, shoot. I'll do this another time. I was going to show you how they were sabotaging something else, but I'm not going to do that right now. Anyway, so if you want to know about Easter, go to my website, racetowalk.org, and go to, I have a topic on Easter. I have a devotional that is, it's called an unexpected devotional, and it's tied to the 10 days of Holy Week. And I have a lot of Easter-based things, and it kind of makes me angry. Not kind of, it makes me very angry that I haven't even been able to put that back out there and promote it, because I've been dealing with, literally anywhere I go, somebody's trying to get into my stuff. But like I said, God told me how it ends. And if you are still trying to come at me and you haven't figured that out yet, you're dumber than dumb. That's all I can say. But anyway, I hope you all have a great Easter weekend. And just one little other thing to just stir the pot. Yeah, Jesus was crucified on a Wednesday, not on a Friday. So you can go and read some of my stuff to see why I think that. But talk to you later. Have a great week.